Chalia continued to sing until 1916, mostly in Latin America, but she was heard in New York in various concert performances in various times, and our note writers have mentioned some of these particular appearances that she made. Chalia recorded her first records in 1897 for Bettini, for the Bettini Cylinder Company, and she made of 116 Bettini cylinders between 1897 and 1899. She recorded a lot of very interesting material. It's a shame we can't find it. Out of the 116 Bettini cylinders that she made, I would estimate that only 6 or 7 have ever been found. So that's a great loss, and I hope one day we will find a huge cache of Bettini cylinders. Of course, there are many other singers who made records for Bettini too, who we'd like to find as well. But it would be nice to find some of the Chalias. In 1900 and 1901, she made records for the U.S. Zonophone Company. She made 7 and 9-inch records for the Zonophone Company. I already showed you a 7-inch Zonophone. And then during the same period, she obviously was not under contract to Zonophone, because during the same period she made records for Eldridge Johnson. Eldridge Johnson was the founder of the company that became Victor. It became Victor in 1901. I already showed you a 7-inch Zonophone, typical of that period, and I did show you actually a real Chalia record. Now this is a record made just a year later. This is a 1901 record that Chalia made. This is May of 1901, and this was made for the Eldridge Johnson Company. Now, Eldridge Johnson was the man who, well, he was instrumental in improving the recording and playback techniques of the early gramophone, and he is considered, he is the founder of what became the Victor Company. His records in 1900, his first records were called Eldridge Johnson Improved Record, and they were 7-inch records. And then when the 10-inch records came out, if I'm not mistaken, this is not my strong area, but I am told that the 10-inch records all say Eldridge Johnson Victor Monarch record. So I think that this is a very early example of a Victor record. But as you can see on the label, there is no dog. So the Victor was not using Nipper as yet as a trademark. So this is what we call, in the business, we call this a pre-dog Victor. Anyway, back to Chalia. Chalia made these records. So in 1900 and 1901, she was recording for Zonophone and Victor. She was going back and forth. You know, it seems like she would record a group of arias and songs for Zonophone, and then she would go over to Victor, and she would record about the same selections for Victor. So there is a huge duplication in repertoire between the Zonophones and Victors. In this CD compilation, I have tried to give a good idea of the variety of styles that Chalia sings. And I have used some Zonophones and some Victors, not based on the greatness of the performances, because they're really all good, but I've based what I've used upon the condition of the records. If I had a better conditioned Zonophone than the same aria on Victor, I used the Zonophone. And if the case was reversed, then I would use the Victor. Now, before finishing, I must mention that photos of Chalia are extremely scarce. We only know of three photos of Chalia. There may be a fourth or a fifth, but there are very few known photos of her. And so we have used 3 nice photos of Chalia. in our this compilation. But if you do buy the CD and you wonder why we've only used 3 photos when we normally use more, it's not because we're cheap. It's just because that's all that is all there is. We just don't know of any other Chalia photos. So in closing, I cannot tell you how much how much I think of Chalia. What a great singer she was. She really was the first lady of the early gramophone, and I think that you will be very surprised, perhaps, and very pleased by this compilation. And as I always say, we only press 1,000 CDs, and when they're gone, they're gone.